Hey guys, I am Game Advisor, and today we'll be going over 6 of the best colony sim or strategy games that you can pick up on sale on Steam for a great price. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into this by starting with our first game, which is going to be Frostpunk. For those of you who don't know, Frostpunk is essentially just a colony sim survival game with a heavy emphasis on that survival aspect. You'll find yourself stuck in a frozen apocalyptic world where your job is to keep your people warm, fed, and happy, all while trying to keep up with the ever-growing cold that seems to constantly get worse. There's a whole story mode for this game, there's an endless mode for this game, and there are even DLCs if you do end up enjoying this game quite a bit, if that's something you're interested in. Now, this game will usually go on sale for 75% off, but I do want to mention the fact that it does have those DLCs, and those will tend to go on sale at the same time. So whether you own the game already and are looking to pick up the DLCs, or you just want to try out the base game, this is a great game to pick up as you can save a ton of money on it, with it being on average at about a 75% sale when it does go on sale. Make sure you're looking for the Steam Winter Sale and Steam Summer Sale, because those are the big ones that it tends to go on sale for. Now, if you're looking to save even more money on games, I highly recommend you go click the Humble Bundle link in the description below, where you can find games that will be on sale during different times of the year and sometimes the same time of year for a bigger discount than it might be on Steam. This is a really great site that allows you to help support charity and support this channel by clicking that link and purchasing something from there. It is totally safe, but otherwise, let's just jump back into talking about the video.
The time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Now, this next game is going to be Oxygen Not Included. And no, oxygen is not included with this game. You'll find yourself running a small colony with very individualized people, meaning you'll have to manage job priorities, happiness, and all sorts of different individual needs, all while trying to keep your people from running out of oxygen. This is because you'll be inside of essentially a giant hollow rock where you'll be digging through the side walls to find more oxygen and other resources to keep your people alive. This game has a great art style to it, and it has a very lighthearted yet hardcore kind of a feel. You can play it on some of the lower difficulties, which makes it pretty easy, but if you do decide to push the difficulties up, there are plenty of difficulties for you to experience if it's something you really get into and you want to challenge yourself. This game will usually go on sale on Steam for about 60% off during the big sales, of course, just like every other game on here, but do be on the lookout because sometimes Steam will have Colony Sim specific sales in which you'll see these on. After that is Prison Architect. Prison Architect is a game where you'll see yourself essentially building a prison and then running it. This game kind of plays something like a RimWorld meets a city builder, so, like a Sim City kind of a thing, where you have to build all these different facilities inside your prison and keep your prisoners alive. You can take in more difficult prisoners in order to get more money, but that means that they're going to have harder issues with being okay with where they're staying. So let's say you bring in a murderer to your prison, that murderer might be harder to care for than, say, somebody who did some illegal drugs. So in this case, you'll be getting more money for that murderer because they're harder to control because of their attitude problems. This allows you to build all sorts of crazy things, and you can build the most horrible or the nicest prisons that you want to. So you could have situations where you make your prisoners fight for their food, or you could have them work for you, or you could just have it be basically a giant vacation for them. It's really up to you, and that's what makes this game so replayable. You can make it hard, you can make it easy, you can make it for high-end prisoners, you can make it for low-end prisoners, you can make it any way you want. It is your prison, and you are the architect of it. This game will usually go on sale for somewhere around 80%, which is one of the higher percentages on this list, and that brings the game price way down. So definitely wait for this one to go on sale rather than buying it at full price. Next on our list is going to be the Total War franchise. Now, if you don't know, the Total War games are essentially ginormous strategy games where you'll see yourself building up these cities in this kind of RTS style mode on a giant overworld map, and then you'll get into fights where you'll go into a more RTS style where you're actually strategizing in real time against your opponent. You can play against AI and other players with this, and there are tons of different factions. If you're not sure which one to pick and you're at least a little bit open to the fantasy genre, I recommend you check out Total War Warhammer 3 or Total War Warhammer 2, as those are great, but there are medieval versions, there's Napoleon era versions, factions. There are all sorts of different versions of this game for you to check out. There's even Roman era ones, which Total War Rome 1 and 2 are extremely popular. So I do recommend that you at least look at these games if you've never looked at them before, and you even might be interested in seeing thousands upon thousands of people fighting on a battlefield. This game is absolutely awesome, and it is totally worth the price. Just keep in mind there is a lot of DLCs to be had with these games, so if you do decide to pick them up, you might be spending some extra on DLCs, so be looking for those to be on discount if it's something you do start enjoying. Alrighty, second to last on this list is going to be Stellaris. Stellaris is a grand strategy game. That means you're going to be managing not just like a few sets of troops, but giant empires, building factions, building relationships, and you do this all on a galactic scale. You'll be conquering planets, you'll be conquering other factions, building alliances, breaking alliances, going to war. There are tons of DLCs in this game too that add tons of cool, unique races. There's situations where you could say live as rock people and you actually eat minerals, or you could play as a giant corporation. You could even play as an AI that's just trying to take over the galaxy. The idea here is that this is a grand strategy game, so there is always a lot to think about and a lot going on, so it is a bit complex to get into, but if you are interested in it, I highly recommend you go to our channel and check out the full Should You Buy video where we go in depth and talk about the game. There is a lot of DLC with this one as well, and this tends to go on sale with the main game, so do be on the lookout for that, but otherwise it is currently going on sale for an average of 75% off, and that is a great deal as Stellaris has an absolute metric ton of content just in the base game.
It's a vast galaxy full of wonders, and it is yours for the taking.
Now, our last game on this list is one that you've probably all heard of, and that is going to be Civilization, more specifically Civilization 6. Now, there are other versions of Civilization. There is Civilization 5, and there might be more versions of Civilization in the future. But either way, Civ 6 is the one we're going to be using for this game, but this is really for the entire Civilization franchise. This is basically a giant grand strategy game just like Stellaris, but instead of things happening in real time, you do turns, and you spend turns to do things within the game. So you could choose to upgrade your cities, you could choose to move a troop towards an enemy opponent. There are tons of different win conditions. If I had to compare this to something that wasn't a grand strategy game, the closest thing would probably be Age of Empires, as in Civilization, you'll see yourself kind of moving through the different civilization eras. So, you know, maybe you'll start out in the caveman era and get all the way to tanks, and then before you know it, you're using mechs, you know, the futuristic era. So Civilization is a great game with a ton of content. There is no need to purchase DLC, but if you do decide to pick it up, they do all tend to go on sale for about 85 to 90% off. That means you're gonna be saving a huge amount of money on this game. Out of every game on this list, this is the one game I will tell you straight up, do not buy unless it's on sale. That's going to save you tons of money. And if you want to know more about this game or the majority of the other games on this list, do make sure you go look up Should You Buy and then the name of the game, and our videos will most likely be the first one to pop up. Otherwise, you can go to our actual channel and you can find it that way, and you can watch a video that goes in depth on the game to help give you more information as to exactly what it is before you make a purchase. We want you guys to get the most bang for your buck, and that is something we really, really care about.
I wanted to avoid this, you know, but your idea of peace left me no choice.
Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to Caustic FPV, Jonathan S., and Jim Phillips. They're all Platinum and above channel members, and they help to support our channel, which you can check out by clicking the member button down below. But otherwise, thanks for listening to me babble. Thanks for just watching the video. I'm Game Advisor, and I'll see you next time.